Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ames's Corner. Figured I'd show you guys what I do when someone brings me a car they're looking to purchase from somewhere. And I got a Saab 9.3 out here that one of the guys that helped us do a bunch of work brought to us to have checked out. Let me set you guys up while I stick a plate on this. So, first thing I like to do, I'm losing my voice a little bit, getting over being a little chest congested. First thing I like to do is take the car for a road test. Make sure there's no wheel bearing noises or bearing noises, and make sure the transmission shifts correctly and it goes straight. So the first thing we do is we go out for a drive, and like I said in some of my other videos, top 10 questions to ask a used car. I try to hit bumps. I kind of go out of your way to hit bumps. You really want to work the car. You want to turn the car sharply a little bit. You know, don't run it through the cabbage by any means. But you want to exercise the car. You kind of want to stress the car just a little bit. You don't want to beat on it, because that's not what you're here for. Now I definitely hear a little bit of wheel bearing noise on this one. So that's something we're gonna have to make a note of. And the car feels great. And also, while I'm in here driving it, I'm looking for anything wrong with the interior, any rips or evidence that anything's been apart. This 9.3 here, I'm not sure what year it is yet. It's an 07. This 07 9.3's got about 150,000 miles on it. It feels really good. Yeah. Safety first, safety second, safety third, whatever. So yeah, I hear a little bit of tire noise. Definitely got some tire noise. I don't know if the mic on this camera can pick it up. This is actually the first episode with my new DSLR, so you guys should be getting a really good picture. I'm not sure about the audio. I'll tell you one thing about this camera. It's a lot heavier than the camera I was using on this Amesy cam stick. But it's what it takes to do a really good YouTube show. Then that's why I got it. So I'm checking the brakes. You know, I know this isn't really translating well into the video, but I'm testing the brakes. I want to feel for any pulsations. I want to feel if the vehicle pulls one way or the other. Other than a little bit of tire noise, this thing seems alright. Definitely seems alright. Definitely a nice car. I'm not the biggest fan of the Chevy Saabs, but when they've been well maintained and they're in good shape, then they're a nice car. They're a nice driving car. So it looks like I'm going to be stuck in traffic here. How about I turn you guys back on in a moment when we get back to base. Well, it drove really well. It really drove well. Other than just a little bit of tire noise, which, as long as the tires are in good shape, there's really nothing to worry about. No clunky bangs or banging or pulls or brake noises or pulsations. Everything seems all right. Next thing we'll do as we come in is I'll ask for a light check from whoever's in there, and we'll run through the lights, make sure all the lights work. I believe one of the notes on this car was that one of the headlights would dim. So just waiting for the door to open here for me. Looks like I'm gonna have to let myself in on this one. Oh, here we go. He got me. Door's open. fog's on? Where's the fog at? It might not. It might just be a reverse fog light. A rear fog light. A lot of these European cars have fog lights in the back. Little red light that comes on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got a rear fog now? Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Plate.
What's that?
Left plate light.
Left plate light out. Well, all right, guys. Let me get out of here, and we'll go to the next step of this inspection. All right, guys. I got you guys set up on the head cam here. Let's go take a look at that Saab, shall we? So the first thing I like to do is I like to just do a walk around, visual inspection. Look for any signs of accident damage. Looks like we got a little something right here. And I'm just checking all the body panels, making sure everything lines up straight. Everything looks pretty good on this side. Everything looks pretty good around this car. Yeah, first thing, visual inspection. You know what I gotta do? I gotta shut the copyright strike machine off. Hopefully I won't have to edit that out. So external visual inspection looks good. Next step up is run through some of the interior stuff. I know the sound system all works. I tried that when I shut you guys down. Make sure everything opens. And then roll down all the windows. I like to roll on all the windows, make sure they all work from the main switch. Make sure the door locks work. And then what I'll do, now that all the windows are open, I'll come in and I'll lock the doors. Now all the doors are locked. We'll check to make sure all the handles do what they're supposed to do. The manual unlock. And another thing we got to check is the seat belts. Make sure nothing's broken, everything's in good shape, everything does what it's supposed to do. Make sure the seats go forward and up and down, make sure all of this stuff works. Looks like all of that works well. Then I come to the back doors, you make sure they don't open. Unlock, opens outside handle, opens inside handle, and then make sure this switch works up and down. Yeah, this door switch works. While I'm doing that, I'll plug all the seat belts in, because you never know if one of those is going to be broken or not. And then I'll come up here to the trunk release. There's that plate light out. And then I like to look back here, make sure the trunk lid stays up like it should. The two handles for the seats works. If there's any kind of panels to inspect inside of, and make sure the spare tire is there with all its tools underneath. Make sure all that's in place and in good shape and full of air. Everything looks good in there. Gas cap opens. Make sure that works correctly and you can actually open and put gas in it. Same with this door, exterior handle works. It doesn't work with the lock. Opens from inside, opens from outside. These seats go back and I release those handles, that's good enough. That seat belt's in, all those are in. The panels, nothing's broken. Make sure all the trim's here. Make sure the window goes both ways from all switches. Now this is going to be the kind of thing you guys want to do. If you're looking at a car you want to buy, you need to check all this stuff out. You know, you don't want to wait till after you've driven the car and had it for a few months and you realize your back doors don't open from the inside or whatnot. Yeah, both works there. Switches up and down. Door lock button works on the passenger door. Passenger seat belt hold. Window goes up. Make sure the seat goes front and back. Yeah, all that works. We know the glove box is good. We know the visors all work. Lights, interior lights work. Yep, everything works. Sunroof goes one way and the other. Oh, what's going on with the sunroof? Sunroof works. Sun shield closes. Yeah, everything looks good there. So that's basically the external and interior checkout on this car. Everything's looking good. Now it's time to put it up on the lift. Those headlights look alright. Don't forget to shut the ignition off. You see me? I went for the column. And I'm looking for, well, actually the first thing I do when I open a hood is I'm smelling. What smells am I met with? Do you smell burning coolant? Do you smell burning oil? I get a little smell of burning oil from here. I'm not smelling any coolant, which is a good sign. And then I'm just looking for wetness. I'm looking for leaks. I'm looking for signs that anything's been taken apart recently. Checking fluid levels of everything I can see and check. Everything looks good there. Now, usually you want to check the air filter. I'm going to skip that right now because it's just too many screws to take out for the on camera. I'll check that when I shut you guys down. So I'm looking at the belts now, and the belts look a little worn, but not really cracked. Those look good. Looking for signs of oil. I got a little bit of oil back here on the. Is that the vacuum pump? I think that's the vacuum pump. Yeah, this is what these use. These use a pump to make vacuum for the power brakes instead of using the manifold vacuum because of the way the turbocharger systems work in these Saabs. They felt it necessary to put a mechanical pump in, and these mechanical pumps are known to be leakers, and this one here is no exception. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I got a lot of oil down on the bell housing right from the vacuum pump. So if you guys are looking at a Saab, make sure you check out that vacuum pump. Not a real tough job to take care of, but they're kind of pricey. They are kind of pricey, and this one definitely needs a new vacuum pump. There we go. And when I put it up, when the wheels leave contact with the ground, I'm looking to make sure that they travel downwards smoothly and there's no notchiness, because sometimes that'll indicate a ball joint getting loose or a control arm bushing being weak. The wheel will come down and stop and kind of pop backwards sometimes, but this feels pretty tight. And I'll do like a shake and bake where we'll just give the wheels a left and right to check the tie rods, and then up and down to check the ball joints. That side feels good. Same on this side, just give it a wiggle. I got a little bit of play here. That feels like an inner tie rod. Very, very minor. That might actually even just be the rack I'm feeling. Well, you guys probably can't see it. It's just a little bit of play there. That would probably pass inspection. That might just be me feeling the play in the steering rack. And always, when you're looking at a car, always have a flashlight. It doesn't need to be an expensive Stinger. It can be whatever you can get your hands on, but always have a flashlight when you're checking out a car. Next thing I like to look at is the brakes. Check the life in the pads. These look like they have about 5 millimeters, which is acceptable. The rotors are really ugly looking. That's a typical thing from a car that sat on a dealer lot. The rotors, if you can see that, get all rusty, and then really can do a number on the brakes. So if you look in and you see rust, that can be a bargaining chip. Doesn't mean that the brakes are bad or need to be replaced right away. but it's something that can cause a bad pedal. I don't know if you guys can see inside of this little crack right here. You can actually see how bad the rotor is in spots. And I didn't feel any pulsations on the road driving it, so I think this one will probably be alright. Now look, if you guys can see all this oil, see all the dripping, that's all coming from that, you guys can see it up here, that's all coming from that vacuum pump. All this oil down here that I smelt when I first opened the hood. You know, that's another thing, use all your senses when you're looking at a car. Feel things, feel for clunks, listen for things, listen for noises. Smells, you know, smells will lead you to different things. This resonator's pretty rotted out. The outer sheath on the resonator, you know, I'm just looking at, you know, everything I can see, the exhaust, the suspension. Check the brake hoses, make sure they're not all frayed. They like to fray up here where they go into the, I think they call that an egglet, the little press fitting that holds them together. Make sure the brake hoses aren't coming apart. And we check the rear brake pad life. These look alright. The rotors look a little better than the fronts. Same with this side. This rotor looks pretty bad. You can see the rust on where the friction surface is. That this should probably be taken care of, having these rotors turned, or maybe some new rotors in the rear. But like I said, I didn't feel any pulse. Look for stuff like this. See this? With the plug box open. It's not supposed to be like that, but I think, you know, I think it's alright. I'll seal that back up. So this resonator, I'll make a note of that. Flex pipe, I didn't hear any exhaust leaks, so looks like this car's biggest problem is that that vacuum pump leaking. Now, yeah, I'll make a note of that, and the person who's buying this car can then bring it back to the dealership and say, well, it needs that taken care of, the resonator's rotted out, the tires are noisy. Yeah, right here's that noisy tire. I can see, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but you see this side's nice and crisp, and then this side's worn out kind of funny. So that that left rear tire is the noise they were hearing. Yeah, these don't look, the fronts don't look too bad. It looks like we got the oil level switch is leaking too. But that's not so bad, that's just a weep. So the next thing I'll do is I'll come over here to my list of stuff. And usually I get all this information before I do my checkout, what type of vehicle, the VIN, mileage, and specs, but for the sake of the video, I figure I'll do that later. So, startup was good, normal running was good. Now, noises, vibrations, and with the tires, but I'm going to save that over to here. So we'll say the noises were all right. Exterior lighting, we had a left plate out. Interior lighting worked. We checked the doors, the locks, the windows, restraints, seats, wipers, climate, sound, horn, mirrors. Check the oil when it gets down, when we lower it. Power steering fluid's good. Still got to check the tranny fluid. Coolant's good. Coolant tank's good. Belts and hoses were good. The spare, we checked that out. The shocks look good. The exhaust, minor rusty resonator. The axles were good, the tie rods were good, the ball joints were good, I didn't hear any jarring noises. The brake pulsations, there were none. Front brakes were right about 4.5 millimeters, rears were about the same. Rotors, rusty. Parking brake works. So I'm just going to check, we know the brake fluid's good, I'm just going to check that oil. A couple other little things, what else did I want to write here? Back pump leaking heavily. And let's check those other few things out. Now, when I check the oil, the first thing I always like to look for is a lube sticker. Get that out of here. And the lube sticker says 166,652 miles. It's got 167, so right away the oil sticker says it's about 1,000 miles overdue for an oil. So we'll note that. Overdue. Oh, gotta open the door. Alright, where was I? Checking tranny. Not sure I can even check the tranny fluid on these without a big drawn out procedure. Yeah, no way to check it. Now, typically, if you got a dipstick, we'll look at the fluid to see what kind of condition it's in. But on some of these cars without the dipstick, I'll let the road test tell me that the transmission's alright, then I'll look for signs of leakage. If it's shifting good and I don't see any signs of leakage, on a safety check like this, it just doesn't make sense to drain fluid and get into stuff if the person isn't going to buy the car. So you kind of have to use your judgment on a situation like that. Looks like the oil's low. So the lube sticker would have told me it needed an oil change. The level would have told me it needed an oil change. I'll check this air filter out after I'm done filming. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward car. Not a lot going on with it. Just probably its biggest issue that the person buying it didn't know about is that vacuum pump needing to be resealed up. So if he ends up buying this, we'll do that vacuum pump on a video, but we'll do the R&R of that with the head cam here maybe. So anyways, what's that? Hold on. Someone subscribed to me. Leslie DeGraff. Hey Leslie DeGraff, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it, much appreciated. Like I said before in my videos, you leave any messages, you guys subscribe, I see every single one of you. Every subscriber I see you, every message I see right to my phone. So if you guys got any questions about anything you see on my videos, feel free to ask, and I'll answer those questions on my Sunday Automotive Answers segment. So anyways guys, this thing looks like it's going to be a good car for this guy. Yeah, awesome. So I hope that helps you guys when you go out and to look at your next car you're going to buy. Some of the things we do to just make sure everything's going good. How many people go through the interior like that and check all the windows and window switches? You know, little things like that you really want to take care of, you really want to check out. Looks like that wasn't put in right. Yeah. So anyways guys, like I said, if you got any questions, ask them in the comments. Thumbs up are much appreciated, and all you new subscribers, thanks for subscribing. It's going to be a really good summer for Ames's Corner. I've really stepped up the equipment, my filming equipment. And we've got this beautiful new shop, which you got to admit is pretty photogenic. It's really a dream place to make these kind of videos in. That being said, I'm still learning my my place in making videos here, like with the switch to shut the speaker off so I don't get copyright strikes. Well anyways guys, my voice is giving out a little bit, and I got to just finish up the little bit of this car. Until next time guys, keep it out of the cabbage.